Pollsters are getting an early sense of how voters feel about key issues and races in 2020. OH Predictive Insights surveyed voters last month about races for the Senate and President. At their offices in Phoenix, we spoke with Chief of Research Mike Noble about what their polling shows so far. U.S. Senate 2020, here we go again in Arizona. You did some polling right after Mark Kelly announced that he's running.
Yep.
He's not leading Martha McSally, but he's close behind.
Yeah, no, and we were very close to this race. So we actually polled more than anyone else in the country on the last U.S. Senate race, which was arguably the hottest race in the entire country. And now already we're seeing that in our first polling, even though it's early of the 2020 election, that this is already shaping up to be a barn burner, because you see that Mark Kelly is only 2 points, if the election were held today, is only 2 points behind current Senator Martha McSally, and Ruben Gallego is only 8 points behind Martha McSally. So it's already shaping up to be quite the contest.
Does Martha McSally get any incumbency effect, or because she was appointed and it's so short, she might as well just be a new candidate?
Yeah, so typically Senate is a 6-year term, but with her getting appointed, she is up for the next election, so she's only in there for 2 years. And so she really does not have much time, if at all, to even find the bathroom, let alone get established. So she basically definitely doesn't probably get really much of any benefit from that. If anything, it actually hurts her, because now she will then, of course, have a Senate voting record, and we see some of these controversial issues right now with whether Trump's executive order with the wall that we're currently seeing, and depending which way they go, that could be used to go after her.
Let's talk about Arizona voters. Right now, registration sits at Republicans, Independents, and Democrats in that order. Still very close in registration numbers. In 18, we saw Republican Governor Doug Ducey win. We saw Democratic Senator Kyrsten Sinema win. Obviously, Sinema had to steal some Republican votes. Ducey had to steal some Democratic votes. Yes. What do Arizona voters do?
So what you're seeing is that, last election, before that last election, every statewide office was actually held by a Republican. 5 statewide offices actually now have transferred that went to Democrats, 2 in the Corporation Commission, Secretary of State, and then Superintendent of Public Instruction and U.S. Senate. So you saw already that, and I think a lot of it was moderate Republicans or suburban, more affluent Republicans kind of defecting, and of course independents weren't really swinging Republicans' way. So now you move into a general election year where you're going to have a larger amount of independent voters come out, and a larger amount of 18 to 34 or younger folks, and folks that just typically don't vote. Usually midterms, it's the same type. It's very consistent of who comes out and votes, but we saw there was a large amount of turnout compared to what we've seen historically, and I think a lot of it too is due to social movements, social media that we're seeing, that you're seeing more folks get organized awareness through the traditional sense. So I think right now is that Republicans, if they thought they had a rough year this last election, if they didn't learn the lessons from this current one, I think they're going to be in for a rude awakening, unfortunately, come November.
President Trump right now talking a lot about immigration, a lot about the wall. How does immigration poll in Arizona as importance versus nationally? Are they similar? Are they different?
Immigration was our #1 issue for a long time. However, last year, for a good portion of it, was education. And what kind of changed that around wasn't until the migrant caravan issue that came about roughly in about October, where you saw a spike in immigration as the top issue. Immigration is absolutely going to be important until the border. There is either a comprehensive immigration reform or a wall, or a mixture of both. So until that point, I see it as being either the top or one of the top issues in Arizona.
All right, well, thanks for sitting down with us.
Not a problem, Chris. Thank you.